In a car accident, I lost 10 years of memory. When I woke up, my childhood sweetheart was looking at me with disgust. How long are you going to play this trick? Fuchin, you are really damned. My breathing stagnated and I was a little dazed. Overnight, the once sweet and innocent girl turned into a woman in a professional suit, flaming red lips, and breathtaking beauty. When I opened my eyes, I saw a pure white in front of me, and my nose was full of the smell of disinfectant. Shen Yang was sitting by my bed. Hearing the noise, he looked up at me with dark eyes. How long are you going to play this trick? Fuchin, are you interested? There was undisguised disgust in his expression. I was stunned for a moment, but he didn't have the patience to explain to me. He got up and left. You can do it yourself. Yang, are you kidding me? I raised my hand to grab the corner of his clothes, but it was all in vain. The sound of high heels faded away, and some pictures flashed through my mind. He looked indifferent. I just like your face. Doesn't matter who you are. Who do you think you are? Why do you tell me what to do? What happened? Shen Yang and I grew up in the same orphanage. We are childhood sweethearts. We once vowed to walk together for life, whether as lovers or as eternal relatives. When did it become like this? When I was confused, the doctor came in. I was eager to get an answer. What happened to me? The doctor said that you hurt your head in this car accident and had memory problems. He said that it was already 2023, but my memory was still in 2013. Mr. Fu followed the agreement and I didn't tell Mrs. Fu about your condition. But unfortunately, after this car accident, your physical condition has worsened. If you don't take treatment measures, you can only live for half a year at most. His words were like a bolt from the blue. My life seemed to have become a huge joke. I woke up from a sleep and found myself 10 years later. My lover no longer loves me, and my life has entered a countdown. Shen Yang has never appeared since then. He is always busy. No one can solve the mystery in my mind. The news said that he was a lost rich girl who found her roots 9 years ago. As for me, I was the one he would rather disobey his family to marry. There was even a record of a century wedding 5 years ago on the website. In the photo, she was wearing a white wedding dress, smiling and looking at me with stars in her eyes. After being discharged from the hospital, I was taken home by the driver. Shen Yang and I's home, a huge villa, is the most luxurious I have ever seen. I looked at everything nervously and saw that my nanny looked flustered. The husband and his wife were busy. I had already opened the bedroom door. Behind the door, she was sitting in the arms of a handsome tall man in a bathrobe. Messy sheets, ambiguous atmosphere. The air was filled with an indescribable smell. What they did was self-evident. Shen Yang got out immediately. I asked him who he was. He didn't answer and picked up the lamp beside the bed and threw it at me. The glass shattered all over the floor. The man kissed her bathrobe, looked at me provocatively. Something exploded in my mind. I rushed up and punched the man in the face. We wrestled together. Bang, a vase hit my arm. Shen Yang grabbed my collar and slapped me. Fu Chenyan, are you done yet? With this expression again, as if he wanted me to die. The man wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and got up from the ground. I grabbed Shen Yang's hand distressfully. Yang, you are not hurt. This scene is so dazzling. He hugged her in his arms as if swearing sovereignty. Fu Chenyan, I have to remind you that you have been sleeping in separate rooms for a long time, and you are about to divorce. What happens to Yang and me has nothing to do with you. I looked at the empty wall and a picture flashed by. It was Shen Yang who took a hammer to vent his anger and smashed all the wedding photos in the villa. At the age of 18, I never thought that our future would develop in this direction. I asked blankly what happened. Facing my confused eyes, Shen Yang sneered and asked new tricks, until a drop of blood fell along my fingertips, and finally a panic-like expression appeared on his face. Your arm, he stretched out his hand, as if he wanted to grab me. I turned away expressionlessly, and 10 years later I married Shen Yang. I have a big and gorgeous house, and everything is going as I imagined, except for our relationship. When the secretary called me, I was looking at the ceiling and trying to digest everything. I flipped through my phone and computer, but my mind was still empty. Vice President, there is a very important meeting tomorrow that requires you to attend. I was silent for a while before saying that I had some problems and I was afraid I couldn't do it. The secretary was a little embarrassed. I couldn't make up my mind. Why don't you ask Mr. Shen for his opinion? Shen Yang still didn't answer my call, so I had to force the issue. As expected, I messed everything up. Partier was disappointed. Vice President, I hope you can be more professional. Your state makes me doubt whether our subsequent cooperation can continue. I heard the discussion in the tea room. Mr. Fu's brain has been not so good since the car accident. I don't know where Mr. Shen went and whether he cares about it. Fu Chenyan relied on Mr. Shen to get promoted. It was expected that it would turn out like this. I heard that Mr. Shen went on a trip to Switzerland with someone else, the young and handsome Chang Wang. Once Mr. Shen praised him, his resources became very good. Mr. Fu is in trouble. How should our subsidiary survive? Now he and his new lover went to Switzerland. I remember that hot summer with cicadas chirping. We were sweating profusely and handing out flyers at the crossroads. The flyers were printed with the endless Alps. I promised him that one day we would fly to Switzerland and see green grass and snow, and birds flying over the hills. We would hug each other tightly in the sky. But unfortunately that day will never come. When something happened, Shen Yang thought of raising an army to punish him. He broke into my office and slammed the table. You can't even handle this little thing well. Fuchen, you have to be a coward, right? The employees stretched their heads to look inside. Chun Wang smiled and closed the door. I was too. I was so angry that I didn't even look at his face. Then I realized that he was very much like me when I was young. In front of me, I rubbed the back of his hand and comforted him softly, saying, "Don't blame him for anything. After all, his mind is not in good shape now." My heart sank suddenly and I asked Shen Yang, "So you have always known this, right?" He knew that I had lost my memory, but he still kept me in a completely unfamiliar place 10 years later. He watched me make mistakes again and again, making me stumble and be ridiculed. My dignity was rubbed on the ground by them. Shen Yang's eyes flickered, and his angry expression also had a crack. He was guilty. Shen Yang, what qualifications do you have to question me? Where were you when I was busy dealing with these things? It's not fun, Chun Wang said with a cold face. Whatever he does is his freedom. Why do you care? I laughed foolishly. You are just his little white face. I tell you, if I don't divorce, you will never get promoted in this life. Chen Wangji, didn't you agree to divorce? It's not good for a man not to keep his word. Hearing his words, Shen Yang's expression became even colder. I never knew that the intrigue between men was so terrible. Shen Yang hates people who don't keep their promises the most. His adoptive mother once promised to take her to the amusement park when she passed the double 100 exams. After she became pregnant, her adoptive mother seemed to remember this promise. That day, her adoptive mother took her to the amusement park. She sat on the carousel and said excitedly, "Mom, this is the best thing in my life." It was a happy day. Her adoptive mother said she was going to buy the ice cream she had always wanted to eat. She looked at her adoptive mother with great expectation, crossed the road and disappeared in the crowd, but her adoptive mother never came back. Later, he was abducted and ended up in an orphanage after many twists and turns. So he hated being deceived and hated unfulfilled promises. Shen Yang said in a light voice, "Don't act like you've been betrayed. It was you who proposed the divorce." His slightly frowned brows were like a mountain that I could never climb over. How could it be possible? I loved him so much, how could he propose a divorce? Just as she was about to ask, they had already left hand in hand. On my birthday, Shen Yang took the initiative to find me. He was no longer that invulnerable look. I seemed very tired. "There is a banquet in the evening and I need you to attend it with me. Whether you go or not, when you come back, I can answer all your doubts. I want to know the answer. I am too confused. What did those 10 years bring us?" As soon as I got off the car, a lot of reporters rushed up. "Mrs. Fu, what is your relationship with Chun Wang? Did you really cheat on your wife? Mr. Fu, what do you think about this? Did you just give your wife to Chun Wang?" I held Shen Yang in my arms and hurried into the venue. Suddenly I felt so sad. Some time ago, his extramarital affair with Chun Wang was exposed by paparazzi. At that time, my century wedding with him made a sensation throughout China. Everyone said that I picked up Mr. Fu and I met 15 years ago when I was 7 years old. The story is quite cheesy. We were childhood sweethearts who accompanied and supported each other. We entered the society from the orphanage. We were young at that time and only wanted to make a name for ourselves in the big cities. When we first went to the capital, we didn't have a penny and slept in a shabby house with drafts everywhere. Later, we both found decent jobs. When we were returning to the basement, we passed a very upscale community and Mr. Fu pointed to a certain building. One family said to me, "In the future we will definitely live in a big house like this, that is our home." Two people who had never had a home started to outline what their home would look like on that day. It is no exaggeration to say that at that time even the air was sweet, but God always likes to play jokes. During the pre-employment physical examination, I was diagnosed with uremia. I said that this was my fate, but Mr. Fu didn't believe it. He wiped his tears, carried me and ran out, saying that we would not stay here for treatment. There must be something wrong, so we went to a big hospital, and later his kidney was successfully matched with mine. He smiled so happily that day, but the operation cost money and we had no money, so he went to borrow money from loan sharks and was beaten half to death. The loan shark said that if he didn't pay back the money, he would kill him somewhere else. One of his kidneys was removed. I saw him coming back covered in wounds. I was so scared that I cried and said I didn't want to be hospitalized anymore. We fled to a place where the loan sharks couldn't find us. He just touched my head and told me to have a good rest. He worked harder to make money. He delivered takeout and washed dishes during the day, and worked as a waiter in KTV to earn quick money at night. One day, his face was swollen and he came back with a wad of money in his hand. Later I found out that he was slapped in the face by a customer, one for each coin. When he had nothing, he gave half of his life to me. Why do you think we should get married? This article attracted countless people to cry. There is even a super topic about our CP on Weibo. The Shen family used this wedding to directly live streaming and selling goods, making a lot of money. How many people shed tears for our love in the beginning? How many people are indignant now, speaking up for me? Shen's stock price has been affected to a certain extent. Shen Yao invited me to attend the dinner together, but it was just to whitewash the situation. Suddenly there was a commotion outside the door. Chong Wang, with a scruffy beard and red eyes, was stopped by the security guard. At the door of the venue when he saw Shen Yao, his eyes lit up. He didn't know where he got the strength from, broke free from everyone, ran to us. He eagerly grabbed her hand. Shen Yang frowned with a warning tone. Chang Wang paused, stared at him stubbornly. His mouth drooped for a moment. His expression was lost. Slowly let go. Shen Yang said coldly, "Go back first. What's wrong? We'll talk about it later." He still has to save face after all. There are too many people here. He watched Chang Wang being taken away by the security guards, but halfway through the walk he shouted like crazy, "I don't want anything. I don't want my career or my face. It doesn't matter if people call me a mistress. I only want you in everything." He had drunk some wine and was drunken and had a bit of a lisp. "I only want you in everything. Come with me." At the end of his words he choked up and said, "I can't live without you." I thought Shen Yang would feel embarrassed, but I didn't expect him to have tears in his eyes and he seemed very moved. A huge panic came over me. I grabbed his wrist. Shen Yang looked at me deeply. "Chenyan, do you know why I like him?" His voice, the sound was very light, but it was like a sharp blade splitting my heart straight. "He is purer than you. You have changed so much over the years." Ha ha ha, the person who changed first said that I have changed. I saw him running towards him without hesitation. They hugged each other tightly and started an escape from Shunda. He had forgotten that today is our common birthday. He didn't want the birthday given to him by his adoptive mother, so he must follow me in the future. When he recognizes his ancestors, Shen Fu will tell him his real birthday. After all, I am the only one who remembers the past. Everyone's pitying eyes fell on me. It's so damn embarrassing. Turns out that this is what heartache feels like. The next day Shen Yang accepted an interview with the media and publicly said that Mr. Fu Chenyan and I had been together for a long time. We have already agreed to divorce, and now we are very good partners. Chen Wang and I have a stable relationship, and I hope everyone will bless us. In order to protect him, he did not hesitate to lie in front of the public. A reporter spoke sharply and asked how Miss Shen planned to repay the favor of the kidney. If it were not for Mr. Fu, you would never have lived to be recognized by the Shen family. Shen Yang's face was dark and he smashed his microphone in public. My sincerity became a laughing stock among the people. They said I was so pitiful. The person who gave his sincerity first was always the first to be let down. I chased after Shen Yang and Chang Wang's love nest. They kissed goodbye at the gate of the yard as if no one was around. I watched all this coldly. Did I disturb you? Chan Wang was like a panic. The thief quickly hit Shen Yang behind him. I walked up to them and asked Shen Yang if you forgot something. Shen Yang frowned and obviously didn't want to talk to me. I'm going to clean up your mess now. Don't be crazy, okay? He still wanted to save the cooperation that I messed up. Chan Wang opened the door for him. Don't be angry with such an insignificant person. It's not worth it for Shen Yang to get in the car. Chan Wang kissed her on the cheek. Have a good trip. I'll wait for you to come back. This scene is really dazzling. I can't bear to see it, so I bent down and got into the car. Then I'll go with you. It takes 40 minutes from here to the airport. It's enough to make things clear. Shen Yang got out of the car and pulled me out of the car vigorously. Chenyan, are you sick? It's me. She is ill with ALS, an incurable terminal illness. At first, she just couldn't hold a pen or fell down for no reason. Later, she was unable to fight back. Her muscles atrophied. She couldn't eat on her own. And finally, she died of respiratory failure. I smiled indifferently. If you don't tell me today, I will never sign the divorce agreement. Let's just waste time like this. Shen Yang wants to save face. Since he has publicly said that we have divorced, he will not make a big fuss and file a divorce lawsuit with me. He can only wait for me to sign willingly to get the divorce certificate. Your lover will always bear the title of mistress. Can you bear it? He can't bear it. He has always been calm and cautious, but because of Chun Wang's reputation, he lied on impulse. In the end later, I threatened him with divorce. He seemed to really love her more than when he loved me. Shen Yang hated being threatened by others. He angrily cursed Chenyan. You are so disgusting, why don't you just die? I was about to speak, but he seemed to have seen something. His eyes suddenly widened, and he stretched out his hand to push Chang Wang away. You liars, bitches, it is you who ruined our love. I sensed the danger and almost instinctively protected him in my arms. The sharp blade pierced my body. Shen Yang screamed, and passers-by were attracted. Seeing that things had gotten out of hand, the man ran away quickly. The severe pain swept through my body. My legs softened and I knelt on the ground. Shen Yang's voice was urgent. Why didn't you get out of the way? You obviously could have gotten out of the way. I smiled bitterly. Protecting her has really become my instinct. Shen Yang shook my shoulders and shouted at the top of his lungs, Chenyan, you are not allowed to close your eyes and look at me. You are not allowed to sleep on his face. Finally, no longer the expression that wished I would die. The sun above his head flickered. It was so dazzling, I squinted. Countless pictures flashed through my mind. I remembered them all. Shen Yang. I will never love you again, Shen. Yang seemed to stop loving me all of a sudden. He hid our child from me. I didn't know she was pregnant until I saw the checkup sheet in his pocket. I was so excited that I rushed into the study, picked him up and spun around. I'm going to be a father. He froze and then his voice became indifferent. I had an abortion. It's hard for me to explain how I felt at the time, angry, heartbroken and disappointed. I almost lost my mind. I punched the table. Why don't you like children? Didn't we agree to have a baby a long time ago? He had an expected expression. Chenyan, I knew you would say this. I'm so busy now. Day and night are reversed. How can I have the time to have a child? I almost blurted out, I can help you. Shen Yang's mouth showed a sneer. I almost forgot. His father specifically told him before he died to hold the Shen family's things firmly in his hands. They all say that I am a phoenix man, so don't take a penny from me. Shen's father was always on guard against me when he was alive, and now Shen Yang has inherited his father's legacy. It's my fault that I just realized now that he never believed in me. Shen Yang received he smiled and said in a low voice, if you want a child so much we can find a surrogate mother. I never thought that such words would come out of his mouth. Do you know what surrogacy means? It is to treat babies just born in women's wombs as commodities with a clear price tag. In order to ensure the success rate, surrogate mothers usually raise several embryos at the same time. Except for the one the client needs, where will the other children go? Either they will become a pile of rotten meat in the toilet, or they will start a tragic life next to the garbage dump. Shen Yang looked gloomy. Fu Chenyan, can you stop preaching? I'm very annoyed now. I don't want to talk to you about this. He is becoming more and more like a cold-blooded capitalist. I took a deep breath and slowed down my tone. If you don't want to have a baby, we just need to discuss it. We can adopt, we can be dinks, but it shouldn't be like this. I think I at least have the right to know. She was aggressive. What do you want me to do? Do you think I feel good? The whole company depends on me for food. The day I came back from the hospital, I went to the meeting without even a rest. We were not talking about the same thing. I was the first to give in. I sighed. Shen Yang, you have changed. I suddenly understood that under the influence of Li, and you, any relationship will deteriorate. That was the most intense quarrel we had ever had. Shen Yang was rarely out of control and smashed all our wedding photos. It was a mess. Later he met Chen Wang. When I woke up, Xiaoguang was sitting by my bed with red eyes. He saw me wake up and cried out, come out, I'm not dead from laughing. Why are you crying? He collapsed. The doctor said it almost pierced his lung. You are a man now, don't cry. Shen Yang walked in at some point, raised his eyebrows and sneered, I disturbed your father and son reunion, is that right? Xiaoguang seemed very scared. He subconsciously leaned towards me. Shen Yang misunderstood. Xiaoguang is my father's child. 20 years ago my mother was imprisoned. My father disappeared. I went to an orphanage, then my father died. His young lover found me, handed the child to me and left. I hate my father and don't want to have anything to do with him anymore. But the child is innocent. I looked at Xiaoguang's face, as if I saw myself 20 years ago. The ignorant and helpless myself, how did I? Throw the Yida photo, Fu Chenyan. I'm here, how could I have done anything wrong to you to use this child to humiliate me? You already had a child outside. How dare you blame me for the miscarriage? These photos were taken when I took Xiaoguang to the playground. It's been a long time, you know. I hate people lying to me the most. Fu Chenyan, this is what you said about a lifetime. Xiaoguang was indignant. He is my brother, not my father. Shen Yang's expression froze for a moment. I coughed and the movement pulled the wound and I gasped in pain. You are powerful and have connections everywhere. Why don't you secretly do a paternity test for us? Shen Yang, you have never trusted me, so you can accuse me of a crime that I didn't just take based on a few photos, he said solemnly. Why didn't you tell me? I laughed. Do you still remember your father? What did you call me, the son of a criminal? He has always looked down on me. I will tell you this again. What will he say about me if I tell him? He will say that a dragon gives birth to a dragon. A phoenix gives birth to a phoenix, and a mouse's child will dig holes. He will say that sooner or later I will become a criminal like my mother, and sooner or later I will learn to cheat on my father, and sooner or later I will find a little girl as a mistress and have an illegitimate child. Shen Yang needs his father's love too much. Except for our marriage, he goes along with him in everything. He doesn't seem to realize how much influence his father's words have on him. I am very afraid that I will change in his eyes. Shen Yang sighed, with helplessness in his eyes. Chenyan, we shouldn't have become like this. You should have told me earlier. I think it's ridiculous. Don't make excuses. After you were with Chen Wang, you thought there is a child, isn't there? The photo of Xiaoguang and I was taken after he cheated on me, and he aborted our child not because of Xiaoguang. Now he wants to put all the blame on me, blaming me for hiding it from him. Shen Yang, let's get a divorce. I'm tired. Shen Yao pursed his lips and said, wait a little longer until you get better. No need to wait. My hand is not hurt. I can sign. I've waited too long, until the only remaining feelings were worn out. This is not the result I want. I sighed. Shen Yang, you said that it doesn't matter if everyone abandons us, we will form our own family, but you broke your promise. Shen Yang slammed the door and left. In the end, he still didn't take out the divorce agreement. The police came to take a statement and told me that the criminal was me. He is a CP fan of Shen Yang. He said that we made him believe in love and he lived on our love, but we deceived him. He complained at the top of his voice that it was rotten people like us who tarnished the sacred love. After the police left, I was silent for a long time. Soon an uninvited guest arrived and broke the silence of this life. He rushed up and slapped me hard, saying, can you stay away from Chen Wang? Isn't it enough that you, the disaster star, have ruined our family? Now you want to ruin it again. Chen Wang grabbed my neck tightly and said, how could I give birth to someone like you? Go to hell, go to hell. My mother saw the news, which said that his dear little son was almost injured. He blamed everything on me and wanted to strangle me to death like he did 20 years ago. Everything will be fine, let go of my brother. Xiaoguang dropped the lunchbox in his hand, pounced on him and bit his arm. He hit and kicked me. A 12-year-old child was very strong. My mother felt pain and finally let go of me and slapped him instead. Who came from, you little bastard, to ruin my good things? The wound opened again, and the smell of blood slowly overflowed. I gasped and coughed violently. My illness seemed to be more serious. At that moment just now I couldn't control my body at all. When my mother was taken away by the security guard, she was still cursing at me, telling me to die soon and not harm my Chen Wang. Anyway, I have been in jail and have a miserable life. If you dare to touch a hair on his body, I will fight you to the death. The doctor treated my wound. Xiaoguang glanced at it and took a breath, complained, brother, why don't you resist? I smiled bitterly and said nothing. I was on the hot search again in the afternoon. Jinghao Chanwang's mother scolded Fu Chenyan. Jinghao, Chanwang's biological mother is a criminal. Jinghao. It turns out that Chanwang was adopted. Jinghao clicked in. The entry was a video of my mother being taken away by hospital security. Public opinion was very fermented. It turned out that Chanwang's mother had been in jail. Then it was not so difficult to understand that he would be a mistress. Fu Chenyan was really miserable. He was the one who was stabbed. Why did Chanwang's mother find him to question? Chanwang, come out and say something. You become a big star and make money. How about the people hurt by your mother? Chanwang didn't say a word. If Shen Yang came out to defend her, she would still be that capable and bright. Look, she said that a mother had committed a crime. Could it be? Is she unworthy of being a mother? She is indeed a criminal and is indeed arrogant and domineering. But she is a good mother and she loves her child very much. I stared at all this in a daze. The wind blew and my face was chilled. This was the first time I cried like a king since I was 8 years old. He is my half-brother, who was born in prison by my mother. When my mother was pregnant, my stepfather thought I was a burden and planned to strangle me to death. An 8-year-old boy has only so much strength. Have I ever taken drugs? He was too weak to hold me down, so he asked his mother to help. The man smiled and said to the police, as soon as his mother came, he couldn't move. If you hadn't come, he would definitely not survive. The judge was very angry. She sentenced him to 10 years. My mother was an accomplice 7 years. Now Shen Yang says she is a good mother. I called Shen Yang. I called her and she answered this time. I asked her, do you really think she is a good mother? Shen Yang was silent for a long time. After a while she asked me, what can I do? What do you think I should do? Now Chanwang is the spokesperson for Shen Corporation. Can I still say in front of everyone that her mother is a beast? Maybe because I have been disappointed too many times, my voice was unexpectedly calm. What did you promise me? Do you remember? He seemed helpless. I remember everything, but I am different now. I am responsible for every word I say to everyone. I will not forget that he was indignant at that time and said that my mother was a psychopath and that there was no one in the world who deserved to die more than him. If he dared to come to you in the future, I would be the first to kill him with a knife. He also said from now on, he will love me on behalf of everyone else. He has even forgotten to see me. Shen Yang was silent and said to Chenyan again, I know you have been wronged. I will compensate you. All the suffering I have endured was taken away by his words of compensation. Shen Yang softened his tone and said to Chenyan, just think of it as being for my own good. Don't pursue it. Some things should be left in the past. I will go to see you later. If the needle doesn't prick him, of course he won't feel the pain. Soon public opinion changed again. Chanwang is Chanwang and his mother is his mother. If his mother committed a crime, would he be guilty in this life as well? Yes, and Chanwang was not raised by his mother. He is different from his mother. Shen Yang also said that he and his mother are completely two different people. Then why am I the child of a criminal? It turns out that people who are in the same situation as me can be forgiven, but why his birth is not original sin but mine is. At this moment I have to admit that there are always many people who love him. After he was born, he was adopted by a very good family, grew up happily until he was 20 years old, and then entered the entertainment industry. He became an instant hit with his good-looking face. My mother felt sorry for him. He was a person who was not afraid of hardship. He worked as a nanny in his house and took care of his paralyzed grandfather. Even if he had to carry feces and urine every day, he had to stay in the Wei family just to see him a few times a year. Now even Shen Yang has fallen in love with him. He has everything and lacks nothing. He has so much love and he has everything I desire. I really envy her. I have no intention of letting my mother go. I started a live broadcast recently. These things have caused quite a stir. And a steady stream of viewers have poured into the live broadcast room. I cleared my throat and told everything. My mother's name is Wulan. She gave birth to me when she was 20 years old. When I was 6 years old, my parents both cheated and no one wanted me. My father ran away without even divorcing my mother. My mother couldn't find him, so she had no choice but to live with me. Later, he met Chanwang's biological father. I smiled bitterly. After I got pregnant, he made a great decision. Do you think such a mother is the good mother they call her? Soon someone in the barrage said that they had checked it out. Damn, what Fu Chenyan said is true. Even a tiger won't eat its own cubs. His mother is a real beast. How could Shen Yang not know about this? As a result, he defended Chanwang's mother. It disgusted me. All of Fu Chenyan's suffering was caused by Chanwang. If his mother hadn't been pregnant with him, Fu Chenyan would have been fine. Now he's trying to steal someone else's wife. He's the one who deserves to die. How dare Chanwang and Shen Yang say that Wulan is a good mother? Go to hell. This time Shen Yao didn't yell at me. He just came to the hospital the next day and brought a divorce agreement. Fu Chenyan, I'm very disappointed in you. I bowed my head and reviewed the agreement. It was quite generous. He gave me a lot of things. Before we got married at Shun Fu's strong request, we did a property notarization. Even if we get divorced, I can only get a sum of money and some real estate. I don't have a share of Shun's things. I don't care and I'm too lazy to fight for it. I'm almost dead, what do I need those worldly things for? I sighed that I gave him a lot. Chanwang looked at me with contempt. It's meaningless for Fu Chenyan to retreat at this time. Do you think you can do everything? Are you soft-hearted? Do you know what you have done to us? If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have been scolded at all. I smiled. Okay, Shen Yang, give me more. If you don't give me the money I want, I will tell the media. We haven't divorced yet. Chanwang is the mistress. I don't mind your reputation getting worse. Shen Yang's face sank slightly. Shen Yang knew he had said the wrong thing and stopped talking. Shen Yang asked the lawyer to modify the agreement on the spot. He had the money and he transferred it to me as soon as I signed. Fu Chenyan, we are even now. He seemed to be relieved. The kidney you gave me is enough to buy it with so much money. I nodded and said yes. Let's find a time to get the divorce certificate. I said okay. Later, I donated all the money to welfare institutions. I didn't keep anything but the villa. That was our wedding room. At that time, Shen Yang was not as busy as it is now. We designed it ourselves, supervised the layout, and filled it up little by little. Finally, so this place has become the home we imagined. I finally have a home, but it's a pity that I will be the only one living in such a big house in the future. The Shen family is in the footwear and clothing industry. Ever since I started the live broadcast, people were indignant and no longer bought shoes and clothes under the Shen family. Shen's rivals also took the opportunity to start a business war. And Shen's stock price fell again and again. Not only that, after all the fuss, the stepfather learned that Chen Yang was his biological son. He went to the Wei family, to the Shen company, and to the Chen Yang crew to make trouble. Wulan loved his son so much that he stabbed him with a knife during a dispute. The stepfather grabbed the knife and stabbed him. The two stabbed each other and both died. After a while I couldn't walk anymore. I found an agent and asked him to sell the villa for me. It had been on the market for a while but it still hadn't been sold. I asked what was going on and the agent was very impolite. Mr. Fu, now rich people all look at feng shui. What about you and Miss Shen? It's a matter that everyone knows about. Your marriage has ended like this, and no one is afraid to be blamed. Anyway, the price is too high now and no one will buy it. You can only sell it at a lower price. People in the world are the most sycophantic. I'm no longer the vice president, and no one is polite to me anymore. At this time a voice came from behind. Get out if you don't want to sell it. Who is it? She is still so beautiful, unlike me. She asked me why I wanted to sell it, and it looked annoying. I was being stubborn but I was actually reluctant to do so. But I don't have much time left, so I have to leave something for Xiaoguang and let him grow up well. A trace of annoyance flashed across Shen Yao's face, and when he touched my face, his eyes dimmed. How did you lose so much weight? What injury did you suffer this time? I lied casually. I fell from the upstairs and broke my leg. I looked so embarrassed before I died, and I didn't want him to see it. Xiaoguang will be back soon, he doesn't like you so you should leave. I think the villa is deserted so I picked up Xiaoguang. Come here. On the first day he came he hugged me, his voice choked with sobs. Brother, I have a home, I have a home. It's great that I have a home again. Shen Yang finally found out. One day when I opened my eyes, I saw him standing in front of my bed. His eyes were red and swollen, as if he had been crying all night, and his voice was hoarse when he spoke. Why is my life so bad? In my life I had a broken and absurd childhood, a hard-pressed adolescence, a slandered and guarded youth. I have been despised all my life. I need an outlet to explain my misery, to comfort my unwillingness, so I blame everything on fate, which is actually quite sad. He no longer said a word, just stayed by my bed. I wanted him to go. Shen Yang, I'm almost dead. You don't have to come here to pretend to be affectionate. I won't remember it even when I die. He shook his head desperately. His tears were like beads with a broken string. Don't do this to me, Chenyan, don't do this to me. It was obviously me who was going to die, but it seemed that he was the one who was afraid. He was unkempt all day long, and he didn't look like a goddess at all. He was really ugly. He wiped my face. He did everything concerning me these days by himself. I had some free time in these few months, and I suddenly felt that money was not that important. How could I not believe you? I actually thought you had changed. It was obviously me who had changed. Chenyan, I knew I was wrong. It was so hard for me to live without you. Please get better and we can start over. We can remarry and have a child of our own. I looked at the white ceiling and asked him, Shen Yao, have you ever thought about what these 10 years have brought us? Of course you have gained a lot, and I have lost too much: pure love, a healthy body, longing and yearning for the future, youthful spirit. All these things I have none of them. He kept apologizing to me. Even in his sleep he kept murmuring, I'm sorry, get well. Later, Chan Wang broke into the ward and questioned me. Fucheng, you're going to die. Why did you take away his love? You deserve it, Fucheng, and you deserve it. Your birth itself is a disaster. You're an orphan. No one loves you. Shen Yang slapped him fiercely to apologize. Chan Wang stiffened his neck and didn't say anything. Shen Yang pinched his neck and forced him to bow his head. I want you to apologize to him. Okay, I apologize. I'm sorry, I'm a bad-mouthed person. I shouldn't have said that. You, a 1.8-meter tall man, had red eyes at this moment. I would rather I had a terminal illness so that you would be with me and look at me more. I smiled bitterly. What a psycho. Love is not as important as life. Chan Wang repeated his old tricks, and every word he said showed his deep affection. But this time Shen Yao didn't look at him again. Chan Wang was disappointed and pointed the finger at I with an angry expression. You have made me like this. Are you satisfied? You are very proud now. Fu Chun, how long can you be proud? You will not live long. Shen Yang kicked him in the abdomen. His expression was terrible, as if he wanted to eat someone. Next time I hear such words, you know the consequences. Chan Wang, I will really let you die. He turned to comfort me. Chenyan, don't listen to his nonsense. We all love you. Xiao Guang loves you too. We will be a family in the future. I whispered, I'm not sad. Really, your father said these words a lot before. Shen Yang froze. I'm sorry, Chan. I'm sorry. Xiao Guang later told me that Chan Wang's life was over. He was exposed for tax evasion, and he was so arrogant that he burned the account books. He would go to jail, and he would never be able to turn over in this life. Shen Yang asked me if I was relieved. He put his face on the back of my hand, without the face that looks like you. He is nothing. Shen Yang, you are so cold-blooded. He suddenly looked up at me, his lips trembling violently, and after a while he whispered, It's okay, I'm not cold-blooded towards you, I will always love you. As my health deteriorated, my temper became more and more weird, and if I was not satisfied, I would use all kinds of vicious words to curse Shen Yang, but he just gently fed me water to calm me down. I deserve it, I have hurt you, and now I deserve to be hated by you. I don't appreciate it and continue to scold you, saying you are a lunatic. Can you please get out of here? I want to vomit when I see you, don't touch me. You dirty thing. His eyes were dim, and after a moment he forced out a smile. What do you want to eat in the evening? I will cook you corn and pork rib soup. Okay, you haven't eaten my cooking for a long time. I used all my strength, raised my arm and slapped him. It didn't hurt, but the sound was loud. We have known each other for 20 years, and this is the first time I touched him. Shen Yang's eyes soon turned red. Can you please get out of here? Don't come here. Is it okay to disgust me? Do you think you are very affectionate? How can someone like you deserve to love me? He was silent for a long time, then got up and left. I was relieved. I didn't have to act anymore after he left. Late that night, I heard him breaking down and crying in the doctor's office. I spent tens of millions to hire you for what? Yes, cure him for me. If you can't, your career will be over. Xiaoguang got up quickly and closed the door of the ward. He saw that I still had my eyes closed and thought I was not awake. He breathed a sigh of relief. I knew I had reached the end of my rope. This is the best medical team in the world for the treatment of ALS, but a terminal illness is a terminal illness. It is too difficult to conquer it. Later one day a video was widely circulated. The woman who had always been glamorous was kneeling and kowtowing in the heavy rain with every step. He was muttering to himself. In the storm only his choking voice could be heard. The sound and pious look moved countless people. Netizens speculated who it was. They said it must be a mother. No, my mother never loved me like this. I knew the woman's identity at a glance. She wore a health charm on her neck that I asked for when she was sick many years ago. Later, some netizens were sharp-eyed and found out that she was Shen Yang. They followed the clues and found out that I was sick. Shen Yang apologized to me. It was my fault. I know you don't want them to see you like this. Chenyan, don't worry, I will protect you. No one else will disturb us. After several days of wind and rain, his face was pale. He brought me a lot of things, kind-looking Buddha statues of peace and health, and blessed bracelets and necklaces. The whole ward was packed. Chenyan, do you remember? After you asked for health for me, I really got better. This time you will surely get better slowly like me. The light of hope rekindled in his eyes. Finally, he leaned on my chest. A long sigh spilled from his mouth. He placed his hope on the gods and Buddhas, asking them to have mercy on me and give me a chance to survive. But he forgot that I had never been pitted in my life. Soon I couldn't speak. Shen Yang stayed by my bed, telling us our stories from the past all day long. I was tired of listening to them and I didn't want to listen to them anymore. Xiaoguang understood what I meant and told him to get out. Shen Yang refused to leave. When I was angry, he went to wait outside the ward. When I was in a good mood, he came to my side. He was like a dogskin plaster, and like when I was a child, one sunny afternoon I suddenly felt tired. Xiaoguang held my hand tightly and refused to let go. He cried so hard. You have suffered too much in this life. You must be in the next life. It will be fine. Walk slowly, wait for me. I slowly closed my eyes. Mengpa also said that I suffered too much in this life. The king of hell will compensate me. In the next life I will have parents who love me very much. And I will live a happy and fulfilling life without illness or pain. I said that it is so good, so good. Shen Yang, in the next life, let us not see each other again. After Fu Chenyan died, Shen Yang fell ill. She was like a flower plucked by someone. After leaving the soil named Fu Chenyan, she quickly decayed and withered. He sat blankly in front of the bed, staring at the man's face. The doctor wanted to remove his organs and transplant his heart to others, which could be regarded as the continuation of his life. Miss Shen, this was Mr. Fu's last wish. Shen Yang bit the doctor's wrist and asked him to get out of this woman who was always vigorous and resolute. At this time his face was ferocious, and he held his lover tightly in his arms. This is him that no one has ever seen. Xiaoguang pried open his fingers one by one. What right do you have to interfere with his decision? He gave you your kidney and now he wants to donate this heart, and it has nothing to do with you. This is the wolf cub he raised. Although he was obviously afraid, he still straightened his back and defended him with his life. He stared at Xiaoguang's stubborn face, and suddenly remembered Fu Chenyan when he was a child. He was like this at that time, protecting him behind him and saying to those who bullied him, "If you dare to touch him, I will beat you to death." Anyway, I have no parents and I am not afraid of death. He was obviously afraid too, but he still stood in front of him. Shen Yang's face was full of tears, but he finally let go. The night before the cremation, he outlined his outline in the dark and stroked every muscle on his body. He got close to him and felt it. There was no familiar beating sound in his chest anymore. He was finally sure that he had left him. Shen Yang suddenly remembered their first quarrel. He made a mess of the house and threatened not to come back. He was cold and hungry at night. He thought that even if their home was a basement without sunlight, no matter how damp and cold it was, at least Fu Chenyan would hug him. His arms were so warm he couldn't help but go back. The house had been cleaned spotlessly, and the table was filled with small cakes that he wanted to eat but couldn't bear to buy. The dean had said that children who made mistakes would only have the opportunity to be forgiven if they cleaned up the dormitory. He forgave him, but this time what would it take for him to forgive him? Shen Yang covered his face and finally burst into tears. When did it become like this? 3 years after Fu Chenyan left, Shen Yang was relieved. He sold everything, including Shan's, and exchanged them for money to build an orphanage. He built in one school after another. The children all called him Rich Mom. Sometimes, he would vaguely recall the afternoon when he found out he was pregnant. He could no longer remember what kind of mood he was in when he aborted the child. He only remembered Fu Chenyan's disappointed expression, and that he went crazy and smashed all the wedding photos. He wanted to tell Fu Chenyan, "We have many children, please don't be angry." In the 5th year after Fu Chenyan left, Shen Yang's stomach pain became more and more frequent. Once when he was playing games with the children, he fainted from the pain. When he woke up, a group of children surrounded his bed. After he sent the children away, the doctor told him that he had stomach cancer. In the year when Fu Chenyan passed away, he lived on alcohol and drank himself into gastric bleeding several times. He was actually happy when he learned the result. Finally, she could go to see him. Would he wait for him? She would. The end.